Hello, my name is Luke. There's something I need to get off my mind right now. I'm going to start from the very beginning. It's a long story, so get ready. I was playing squads with some friends from school that day. We all decided to go to Dusty Divot. Our favorite location, Retail Row, was destroyed during the whole volcano event, so we had no choice but to land somewhere else. We landed and got some decent loot. I had a green SMG, a gray tactical shotgun, and a gray AR. We noticed another team was coming into the divot, which is where we were still at. We destroyed them with a few headshots to the head. Afterwards, we noticed two other teams running towards us from the same spot the last team came from. The other teams were not killing each other though, which seemed super odd. As they got closer to us for some reason, their Fortnite characters had a look of shock and fright on their faces. I just thought it was some type of visual glitch at the time. My team and I decided to go and see what they were running away from. We ran up the divot and over towards Salty Springs, which is where the other teams came from. As we got closer and closer to Salty, it turned almost pitch black in the map, which shouldn't happen because it was just starting to be dawn. My friend Alex was in front of me and nearest to Salty Springs. He reached Salty and all of a sudden, his character froze. He started screaming into the mic, saying he couldn't move his character and saying that someone or something huge was moving around near some trees. I asked him if he knew what it was and he almost immediately said, "No." At this point I was getting scared. The rest of the team finally reached Salty. I looked around trying to see the thing Alex saw. I practically couldn't see anything as it was pitch black now. All of a sudden, my other friend Michael let out a massive scream. He screams, "Help! Something is grabbing me!" The rest of us tried to help but didn't know how we could. Out of nowhere it turned to day and we could see again. I looked near the gas station and I could see a bloody puddle. I looked and I saw a head and a bloody body near the gas pump. It was Michael's character. I then looked at his health bar and it was a deep, dark red, like blood. He was silent. The only thing you could hear was static coming from his mic. There was 3 of us standing in a circle now. Alex, me, and my other friend Joe. Joe said he noticed some random burn marks on Michael's dead character. We were all dumbfounded at what just happened. Alex screamed all of a sudden. He screamed, "You guys, look, it's that thing I saw earlier." We all looked and what we saw was something we all knew we would never forget. It was huge. It was disgusting. It looked like the ruined skin, but it had all the other players' heads growing out of it. It had huge bloody claws and scales with a massive bone sticking out of its back. I looked in shock at the players' motionless heads on its body, and I saw a head that resembled the skin Michael was wearing. The thing spotted us and started running towards us in a creepy, non-human way. We ran as we didn't know what else to do. I noticed I had a launch pad, so I placed it, and we glided away. While in midair, the thing threw something at Alex's character, and immediately he fell to the ground, and a noise that sounded like crushing bones came through his mic. He stuttered, saying, "Help me." His mic then went quiet. It was me and Joe left now. I looked back and I saw the thing adding Alex's head to its collection. Joe said out of nowhere, "Luke?" I then responded, "Yeah?" He then said something that is still burned into my very memory. "Something's in my house." He then screamed and disconnected from the game. It was now silent. The only thing I heard was the staticky buzzing noise from Michael's microphone. I was now at Mega Mall and I couldn't see the thing anymore. I then decided to try to shut down my console just to see if this whole thing would end. Every time I powered down my console, a little zap of light would flicker near the power button, turning it on and shocking my finger. It would zap me and put me back into the game. I tried once more and my console finally turned off. I thought to myself, is it over? Out of nowhere, everything started shaking in my room. My photo frames and my action figures fell off my desk and I started to scream. I kept screaming on and on. It got louder and louder by the second. It felt like the whole world could hear me scream. Papers were flying in circles all around my room. All of a sudden, everything went black. I then woke up in the hospital. My mom was standing near my hospital bed. She called to the nurse saying I had woken up. The nurse came in and told me what had happened and asked me if I was fine. I said I was fine and I told her she didn't have to explain. I knew what happened. A couple days later I came back home and nothing's gone on since then. My mom gave me the news one day and said sorry. I then replied, sorry for what? I guess I didn't know everything that happened after all. My mom told me to read the third article in the newspaper. The article distinctly read, 3 boys were found dead in their homes last night. Their names are Joe, Michael, and Alex. The police say it was suicide, as they found a knife next to each of their bodies. I knew what really happened, and I felt super angry at this point. I wanted to know who did this and why, even to this day. Months later, I still remember everything that went on. I leave you with this one warning. Do not ever go into Salty Springs while in a game of squads.